Episode 18, War Veterans Everywhere. Warning, listeners' discretion is advised for mature audience only. Hey, look, check this out. I don't know the first thing about what it feels like personally to be a war veteran, to return home from war with PTSD from having IEDs explode around me, AK-47 rounds and RPGs shot at me, and from seeing and having reoccurring images of fallen comrades go down around me, mainly because when I had a desire to enter the service and fight for my country, and I ran it by my mentor, aka my uncle, he told me not to because the military wasn't for me as a black man, because I would get killed like our next door neighbor who had got killed in the army just 2 weeks prior. But this episode isn't about me. This episode is about and for the many different war veterans who I had the privilege to listen to and hear, who told me that after returning home from war, they have had to deal with inadvertently ostracizing themselves away from people because of how they were afraid to let people get close to them from fear of losing more friends, inevitability of death. War veterans who told me that they were trained to harness an inner rage that keeps them alive in combat but kills them at home from rigorous drilling exercises such as Sergeant, attention! Sergeant, what makes the green grass grow? Blah, 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 blah. What's the spirit of the warrior? Kill, kill, kill without mercy. What are the two types of people in this world? The quick or the dead. What are you? The quick. What are they? The dead. Sergeant, let me hear your war cry. War veterans who told me that when they return home from war, they're always paranoid. They carry pistols on them at all times. They assess the threat level of every person and or place they come in contact with. They drive in the middle of the streets of their families' neighborhoods out of fear that the sides of the roads will blow up and kill them. War veterans who told me that on the outside they look like any other normal person. They dress in the latest fashions. They play beer pong. They chase girls and they root for their favorite teams. But on the inside, there's something wrong. War veterans who told me that after a few months home, family and friends convinced them that something was wrong, and they've gone to walk-in mental health clinics and asked for help, only to be given sleep aids and told to return back in 6 months. War veterans who told me that they didn't make it 6 months. War veterans who told me that they drink every day to deal with their issues. War veterans who told me that it's hard to think of themselves as alcoholics when playing beer pong. War veterans who told me that they've gone homeless, armed with beer cans, trying to drink away war memories, waiting for someone selfless enough to lend them an ear. War veterans who told me that their skin have grown all too fond of the concrete beds that they've rested their shell-shocked bodies on. War veterans who showed me that their braggadocious bodies rocks back and forth, showing off to the world the only gifts that war veterans ever received. War veterans who showed me that their bodies jerk to the percussions of their bones, dancing to the song of post-traumatic stress syndrome. War veterans who told me that humans lack humanity, demanding that they keep their lips locked, but possess the audacity to ask them where they get their army caps from, as if they are trinkets that can be purchased at a gift shop. War veterans who told me that they've labeled them as crazy and say that they have to take medicine called Percodan, and the one time they took it, it made them high, so they ask why would they continue when it makes their minds worse with time. War veterans who told me that it seems like a perfect crime having people fight for a country that won't fight for them. War veterans who told me that the goal was for one of those countries to take their lives from them, and when the opposing countries failed, their home countries succeeded by stripping them of their homes when they returned back to civilization. War veterans who asked me, how long will this be the standard, where if war doesn't kill you, they distill you and send you back home just to rot and mildew. War veterans who told me that the phrase war is good for absolutely nothing, unfortunately, is still true. War veterans who told me that they just want to die, and I see a tear-shaped white flag surrender from their eye. War veterans who told me that they braided together 4-strand ropes that they once used to tow Humvees with to tie around their necks to commit suicide, only to have the rope break and them fail. War veterans who told me that the solution for them was to chamber around and drop the hammer, an attempt that for them failed as well. though some have succeeded. And for those who have succeeded through this recording, to their family and friends, I send my condolences. And for those war veterans who shared their stories with me and told me that more than wanting to kill themselves, they just want somebody to talk to, somebody who would listen to them and let them tell their stories for them. I've made this recording to let them know that not only was I listening to them, but I heard them. And as one of the first generals of AMM, Artillery Mob Military, also known as God's Army, parting, I leave you with Matthew chapter 11, verses 28 through 30, which says to come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and lowly in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. And to learn more about God's Army and all that it has to offer, you can always subscribe to my YouTube channel at Romarcus Echoes and my podcast at First General. And you can always write me at Romarcus Echoes, TDOC number 441514, address 7475 Cockrell Bend Boulevard, Nashville, Tennessee 37243. And to support me to where you can hear more of me, you can always put money on my books at jpay.com. That's the letter J, P-A-Y.com. Straight up. Until next time, stay up. Peace.